It's almost Christmas. What do you say we go save a buck? Now, the Philips Senseo works really well. That was a pressure system, and as it pushes through here, it actually causes a nice foamy presentation on the top of the coffee, and they go in the same way. They're having the same problem. They've been pretty well much obsoleted by another technology, but it makes a good 1 or 2 cup coffee. It also makes tea if you have the round filter tea bags. It works wonderful. I have a sort of a solution we'll get back to you on a different part of the video. Both of these work real well. Actually, I use them. One I use for coffee, one I use for tea, but you know, they can be kind of expensive to operate. What has pretty well much supplanted them out there, and I'm sure everyone knows, has been the Keurig machine, the Keurig technology. It took a little plastic cup, and what is this? Does it say it was what type of plastic? No, but it has a filter suspended inside of it. The coffee goes in there, and it has a little top to it, a little foil top, and it goes in the machine, and it simply, through pressure, pumps the water through there. And depending on the quality of the machine, the style, you have a lot of things. You can set timing, temperature, that sort of thing. It works real well. They can be kind of expensive to do 1 or 2 cups, but if you live by yourself, or if you have an office or something like that, it's nice to have just a simple cup go through there. And the varieties are wonderful. You can find all kind of things for it. They're a little bit expensive. They create a little bit of waste. I wish they wouldn't do. I kind of like the paper pods, the biodegradable paper pods for that purpose, because you could have less waste, less mass. But there are some other options we'll get to later on. But that's it. Now, this I'm not going to demonstrate because, quite honestly, it's a Christmas gift for my son who's off at college coming home for Christmas. It's a Hamilton Beach FlexBrew system, and I turned it off the Spanish. I can read you Spanish, but I don't know how many of my people actually know it. But basically, this unit, I believe, is designed to replace this old one, just the paper pot only. What's really nice about this is it's $50, so it's much cheaper than some of the other Keurig-based machines. It will use a K-Cup. It will also take a pod like this, if you still have them, or if you make your own. And it will also do ground coffee. So it has like a permanent filter based into it. So you can do any of the above. And assuming that eventually the pods will go by the wayside, it does K-Cups for the instant change out, and it also does ground coffee for bulk, so if you have it around. So I think it's going to be a pretty nice gift for a college student. It has the same basic technology that this one would have on design. If you have a tall travel mug like this, you take the stand like that. Otherwise, you would put your little stand, turn it around like you're just going to do a short one, and that keeps your splashing down so you don't get coffee splashes everywhere. It's actually neither one of those are bad machines at all. Very simple. You control the water and when it shuts off by how much you pour into it. So that's that. We're going to cut a way to make your own pod with a little different technology, because I love my Senseo machine. It's a good technology. It's just slowly kind of fell by the wayside. You can still buy pods for them, but you tend to order them out. And if you order them ahead of time, that's fine. Grocery stores still do carry them, but they're not nearly as popular as the K-Cups. So let's cut to that segment. Let's make some coffee pods. This is a 12-ounce bag of coffee. 1/4 ounce pod, which is 7 grams per. This ought to work pretty good. We've got Pod set up in the machine, zero our machine out. My battery's dying. I've already done a few over there. Let's see if I can get this done quickly. Rather than trying to scoop it out and do it by volume, let's just do it by weight. This is just a little spice scale. I don't know that you need to be all this precise with a coffee pod. 7.1 grams. I just take a little funnel, shake it down here in that corner. So that's just so that I don't get the coffee all over the lip of the pod. And then just fold a little paper over. 1, 2, 3. That ought to be good enough. And I'm just using a little thin knife to pick that up like that. And there you have a coffee pod. And that's all there is to it. Now, depending on your happy little taste buds, there's something you might try. These little filters, perfect pod we just showed you, these little things are about 90 cents a piece. Depending on the cost of your coffee, I'm going to turn this thing on, set that down, and they'll hold, I've got them to hold up around 11.5 grams of coffee. Now 2 pods, 2 7-gram pods makes how much coffee? 14 grams of coffee. So if you do 10.5 grams of coffee, out of a 12-ounce bag, that works out, if you'll do your math, to what, 32 pods, I believe it is. So you can do the math. And we'll do a little math here in a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make one, and we're going to do a little demonstration. That's 8.2. And hopefully I can do this. Okay, 10.5 grams. Now I take a funnel, and this time I'm just going to, and you're sort of limited by how much volume will physically fit in this pod. I'm going to move this to the side, turn the scale off, take the coffee out. And the way, again, this works same way the other one worked, we just fold this over. Like 1, 2, 3. Now, I didn't have my little knife. Whoops, didn't do it. 1, 2, 3. Perhaps I wasn't closed all the way. Okay. If I get it, helps to have a little thin knife to get this thing lifted up with. All right, now turn that off. You push this aside. To get an idea, here's how the little cup works, right? We're going to put this old pod up in there, slide it in, and then we're going to talk about some other things. I have a clear glass. It's going to be hot, but I'm going to use a clear glass so that we can see about the color of the final product. And this takes this thing right to the maximum that the device will produce, and we're going to hit that and let that be brewing as we step back and talk about some other options. Now, for the K-Cup machine, you know you have the traditional K-Cup, and depending on your prices, they're 60 cents to $1 a piece. Okay, now Keurig itself makes this little device. It's also, like the Keurig machine I have, was a gift from my mother. She tried this and she didn't like it, try to hold down the cost of the brewing the coffee. And just a little cup, a little permanent filter, and you put the coffee in there and do it like that. Now, 2 things I don't like about the Keurig system. One, it requires me to pull the pod holder out of my machine. And 2, it kind of makes a little bit of a weak cup of coffee because of the I think it lets the water flow through a little bit too quickly. An alternative to that are these. Now this is what we call an easy cup, and I will show you. You buy a little baby filter, and you put your coffee in there about the same amount as the standard K-Cup would have, and it has a little snap-on top, and it fits right in the machine without having to take out the holder. So you can swap between a real K-Cup and this thing very, very easily, mix your own. And the paper filter allows for keeping the sludge that sometimes with a permanent type of things. And this is called an easy cup. And you can do the math, and maybe I'll show you some math on it. Now this is also a Christmas gift for the dirty Santa, so somebody's getting this. See if I can do this, running low on battery. They are permanent units, and what's neat about that is these fit certain types of Keurig machines, but they only have a limited window, which helps kind of hold down the flow rate through the unit. Not enough to overflow, but enough to slow down the brew. And also it has a distributor up at the top to help get the water over the whole grounds. And they have an excellent reputation. I can't really demonstrate it because it's a dirty Santa gift, but you get this. Now I got a 4-pack for the dirty thing. They're around $35 for 4 of these. And that what this does, it allows you to mix several up and run them, use them, and then maybe run them through the dishwasher, rinse them out, so that you're not having to rinse one like, oh, your wife wants a cup of coffee as well. Well, you can't maybe do that if you only have a single unit. The easy cups, you can do that because you can just change out the paper filter. Just a second, we'll check out the progress on our coffee. Now, does that coffee look like it's producing a dark enough brew? Now that's with a 10.5 gram load in it. So whether or not that's adequate for your taste buds, you'll just have to figure that out. So let's see if our coffee matches up. Now I put that in a clear glass so you could see. Now that is with a 10.5 gram bag. That was with a Folgers, I think maybe a dark brew, I don't know. But 10.5 grams in a single pod filter of the perfect pod. And I'll let you be the judge of that, whether or not you want to try something like that. Now, let's give a demonstration on how well the perfect pod works. They are, as far as I can tell, exactly the same size, style, and dimension as a standard K-Cup. They don't have a bottom in it. They do have a little spring which puts tension on the coffee, the little filter in there, and the filters are custom made for it, and they fit right in there. And they do a good job of keeping any little tiny little dust or sludge, whatever, the dregs out of your cup, and they fit right in there. And what I like about this is you can go from a K-Cup to one of these easily, and there's not a problem. You don't have to do any adjustments. You take the lid off, you throw the filter away, clean. If you want to, you can rinse it, you can pop another filter back in there and go from there. But the proof of the pudding's in the eating, so let's just see how it does. I've got it on my model, the next to the biggest, which is my big coffee mug size. And I've got a clear glass in here so we can see what it do. This is a Folgers dark roast, and we'll see what it actually looks like. Now, one of the things I don't like about the standard Keurig version is it doesn't seem to make a very good cup of coffee. It seems to be always weak, and then it pushes that stuff into the coffee into that permanent filter, and then you have to rinse it out and blow it out, and then it gets in your sink. And I always have this kind of a perpetual fear that it's going to slowly plug up my sink trap. By using these throwaway filters that the Easy Cup has, I've eliminated that, and at the same time I've eliminated throwing away the foil and the little plastic cup. Now, this is going to be hot, so I'm not going to grab it, but is that cup of coffee through that clear glass, is that going to be dark enough, do you think? Let me see if I can get a zoom in on this action. So there you have coffee produced. I use the same exact amount of coffee as I would use in my drip coffee maker. Stop! Don't even think about throwing away your old Senseo machine or bag machine just because you're having trouble getting a hold of the pods. You have options out there. There's reason why you might want to keep a Keurig machine, your K-Cup machine, and your old pod machine as well, even if you don't make your own pods. Here, how about this? You can use one to make tea. Al tea, 100% natural. So this is a Ceylonian tea, 216 3-gram package or bags of tea, and you can see from the package they are round bags of tea. And what they do, there's actually within this package there are 2 foil bags in which these paper pods, and they're just like the same size as a paper pod would be, and they fit perfectly into a Senseo machine. And for a 14-ounce cup of tea, hot tea, I use 1 3-gram bag of tea. Now, price-wise, this is $8.99 at the International Grocer in Nashville. If you do that, I can add my Tennessee tax to this, and it works out to a nickel a cup of tea. Now, you may not always like hot tea. I don't know if it's English background or what, but I like a little hot tea. It's a good break from coffee. I like it strong. I don't like this watered down as they do often Eastern style. I drink it sort of more of a English breakfast style. And this weighted 3-gram bag makes a pretty decent hot cup of tea. I bet you didn't know I could read that. It's written in English on the back. Anyway, there are a number of round tea bags available. I have some ordered as a Christmas gift. This is actually a Christmas gift here. I have my round tea bags at work where I drink most of my hot tea at work. Appreciate you watching.